uniforms those Gadsden Tigers have.
Compared to what they have.
Yeah, they've got all black now. Used to be have those orange pants and black. It was a ugly orange.
Really ugly.
Really ugly. Across the way, Fort Payne will send up Captains Schrader and Captain, who's the other over there? Chris Boggs, and also Shankles will be there. And Gadsden will have 4 captains on the way out. They are Chad Williams, Terod Harvey. We don't have a number 8. I think that's Kyle Hunter. And also Andrew D'Agostine. So let's check this coin toss. And Fort Payne dressed in their white shirts and gold pants. So this is a big game for Fort Payne to win, Roger. Fort Payne has not gone 3-0 since 1988. So this would be a big one to win for Fort Payne.
Well, it will be. And really, Larry, you have to think this game is really going to tell us a little more about exactly how good Fort Payne is. You know, we played Bradshaw, didn't know anything about them. We beat them. We played Cherokee County. We beat them, handled them pretty easily. But Gadsden will be really, I think, the first test of a kind of a known opponent. Of course, as you said earlier, the 4 or 5 players missing from the team may hurt that also.
Fort Payne has won the coin toss, and the Wildcats have deferred their choice to the second half. So I would imagine we'll see Gadsden on offense to start this game. Yeah, I agree with you. I think this game this week and then the one next week against Etowah. Even though Etowah has not won a game, Ronnie, Etowah is always, and the same can be said about Gadsden, they always give Fort Payne fits. The 2 big games coming up in a row here.
2 big games, and of course they're non-area games, but nonetheless, as Larry said, 2 big games. Gadsden can come in here, and Etowah can come in here with losing records and still give Fort Payne, and have given Fort Payne in the past, a really good game. So it will be a measure tonight to see how the Fort Payne Wildcats. I didn't know if we made mention here. It is a homecoming here at Gadsden High School, so that's kind of unusual having the 3rd game of the season being homecoming, but it is homecoming here at Murphy Stadium.
Gadsden will get the ball first as we start this game. So, Roger, if you can go through these starting lineups, the offensive lineup for Gadsden.
Okay, for Gadsden, at tailback will be number 21, Lewis Kemp. Also, at times, we'll see number 35, Robert Williams. At fullback, number 30, that's Terod Harvey. At quarterback is Walter Scott. Jim Garman also will be in at times. That's Jim Garmany. And wingback, Brian Hagedorn. Number 83 is a 5'10", 155-pound senior. Tight end, number 80, Chad Williams. Split end, Andrew D'Agostine. At tackle, Blair Baker. At the other tackle, Rufus Watson. At one guard, Matt Norman. The other guard will be Chris Butler. And the center will be number 76, who's a 6'2", 215-pound senior, Jeremy Piper.
And Fort Payne will start on defense. Patrick Jackson and Charles Gelman for defensive end. And Brummel, Scott Schrader for defensive tackles. Jermaine Jackson will be the nose guard. David Richardson and Josh McClain are the linebackers. The corners are Joe Gray and Cameron Kennedy. The safeties are Vince Starling and Josh Miller. And Gadsden down on the sideline. Fort Payne already out on the field. So we're going to get a chance to look at this offense and the speed of this Gadsden team right off the bat. And Gadsden's got a couple of guys who are going to alternate in there at quarterback. Walter Scott is the small player. He's 5'9". Then they've got Jim Garmany, 6'2". Both these guys are seniors. And they're going to alternate in there at the quarterback position. Gadsden will drop deep. A single safety standing back around the 5-yard line. And we think that's Kyle Hunter. They don't have a number 8 listed on their roster. And we'll go call it Kyle Hunter. And here's the kick. It's going to the center of the field. It's going to be back into the end zone. So Hank Cobble knocked that all the way into the end zone. It'll come to the 20. First time this year, Hank's knocked one to the end zone.
They said it was about a yard deep. And, of course, the guy wanted to run it out, but the officials blow it dead, so they'll take over on the 20-yard line.
So here is Gadsden, and we'll see who starts at quarterback for this team. It looks like it is going to be Walter Scott. So Scott will start in there at quarterback. They'll have Terod Harvey and Lewis Kemp, we think, at tailback. Lewis Kemp was one of those players that Coach Elmore thought had left the team, and it is not Kemp. It is Robert Williams, a sophomore, back there. So number 21, do you see 21 along the sideline? I don't see him, so he's not going to be here tonight.
No, he's not down there anymore.
Robert Williams, the sophomore, will start in that tailback position. And we're about ready to get it underway. Looks like that same offensive line that Coach Lorenzo gave me earlier this week. So here is the quarterback, Scott, from the 20-yard line, I formation. They give up the middle of the fullback, and he is going to be hit down right around the line of scrimmage. That's Fort Payne had 2 or 3 players come in there and knock Harvey down right around the line of scrimmage.
I think coming in from his linebacker position was number 22, David Richardson, making the tackle. Picks up about 2 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and 8 from their own 22-yard line.
Just underway, 11:41 to go in this opening quarter. Fort Payne and Gadsden. And Gadsden will go with an I formation once again. The quarterback under there is Scott, with Harvey and Williams lined up in the backfield behind him. Wideouts left and right. Going to give to the fullback again, and he broke it loose for a couple more yards. And he's down right around the 24-25. Good job again with the Fort Payne defense.
That time Van Burbel came through, limited him to about a 2-yard pickup. So they're going to say almost 3, and they'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 from the 25 for the Gadsden Tigers.
So a possession play for Gadsden. Of course, the drive started on the 20. They've got to get to the 30 for a 1st down. So this would be a good drive to stop Gadsden on, give that ball to Fort Payne and see what they can do with it. I think it's important that Fort Payne gets off to a good start here. They bring their wide receiver Hagorn lined up here. Here's a pitch to the tailback. He's trying to break it outside. Broke the tackle, got to the 25, but didn't get his 1st down. Hit about a yard and a half short of that marker over there. Good job by Fort Payne, as McLean, it looked like, came up there and made the tackle.
Charles Gamble had a shot to bring him down for about a 4-yard loss. Had him by the ankles, but he broke loose. But as you say, Larry, still a yard short, so the Tigers will have to punt.
Fort Payne will drop Prater and Gray back around their own 40. And Jim Garmany will kick it away from about his own 20. Stands on the 15. Fort Payne has 9 men lined up on the line of scrimmage. Gadsden will kick it away. The snap is good, and the kick is away. Got away a good kick. It's going to go to the far side, and Darrell Prater lets it go over his head, takes a great Gadsden bounce, and bounces all the way down to the 21-yard line.
Good punt there. It was a high-hanging punt. I think he thought it was going to, the Wildcat receiver thought it was going to go out of bounds sooner than it did. It rolled for another 10 yards, so the Wildcats will be up their own 21-yard line for their initial possession of tonight's game.
Well, it's a good punt, about a 50-yarder for the Gadsden Tigers. Pins Fort Payne back on their own 20-yard line.
Ball goes just outside the 20 with 9:56 to go in the opening quarter. Fort Payne with their 1st possession of the night. And they'll send the wide out to the far side of the field. That's Daniel Thompson, line up in that wing formation. David Underwood is your quarterback. Going to hand off to Prater to Beagles. Randall Beagles got about a yard. Well, maybe got a yard. If he got anything, he got a yard. Let's see where they mark him down. He didn't get very much out of that play anyway. He got a yard, we'll say.
Well, Reginald Brunson made the tackle, and he comes up limping. I don't know if he'll have to come out of the game, but anyway, he made a tackle after almost a yard gain on the play, so it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Fort Payne will send Thomas Brandon wide to the near side and Daniel Thompson wide to the far side. The split set again. Damian Underwood, your quarterback. Damian is going to roll the pass. Gave it off to one of the fullback Beagles, and he didn't get much that time. Got another yard or two, and Randall Beagles tried the right side of the Gadsden line, and not much there that time.
Once again, it was Bronson on the tackle, Larry, so he must be okay. He doesn't appear to be limping now. So brings up a big 3rd down, almost 8 to go for the 1st down, and the Wildcats have the ball on their own 23, just outside the 23-yard line.
Gadsden has an awful lot of men right up on that line of scrimmage. And here is Fort Payne, 3rd down possession play. Got to get a stop to 30 for the 1st down. Damian Underwood is your quarterback. Damian will roll to the left, gave it to Prater. Prater broke a tackle, but didn't get to the 25. He's going to be well short of the 1st down, and Fort Payne's first offensive surge didn't come up with very much.
Well, on each of the 3 tries, they went right to the middle of the Gadsden defense, and they managed to pick up about 4 yards on 3 tries. So the Wildcats will have to punt the ball away.
In will come Thomas Brandon to kick it away. Thomas has been doing a great job kicking this year.
Thomas has done a good job. Somewhere I had his average.
43 yards a kick, I think he's averaging.
So a good job by Thomas.
He'll kick it to about the 20. Got a good snap. Got a kick away. Got away an end-over-end kick that's going to be caught on the 40-yard line. And coming this way, got a block out here. Got to the 35-50. Down this near sideline, knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. That was the Walter Scott, and Walter Scott got a good run back, and here's Gadsden in great shape at the Fort Payne 40-yard line.
Kenny Chadwick, along with number 35 for the Wildcats, Patrick Jackson on the tackle. But as you said, the Gadsden Tigers will start on the Fort Payne 40, well, just inside the 42-yard line for their second possession of the evening.
They still have Scott in there at quarterback, and Harvey and Williams are lined up in the backfield behind him. 7:58 to go in the opening quarter, as Gadsden will send twin receivers to the far side of the field, and they line that tight end up on the near side. Scott is your quarterback from the Fort Payne 42. He's going to give to his fullback, and he found a little hole, broken tackle, got to the 35, and is down around the Fort Payne 30. Maybe he got a first down. And that was Harvey. Well, they say it was Williams, the move Williams. Williams in there, the fullback, I guess, and he picked up 9 yards on the play.
I believe he picked up the first down, Larry. He picked up about 11 yards on the play. And it will be a first down for Gadsden at the Fort Payne right on the 30-yard line.
So Fort Payne wanted to get off to a quick start, and that's just not happening. They've now moved number 8 in there at tailback, and we don't have an 8. We think that's Kyle Hunter. And this will be Hunter with the ball. Hunter's trying to get outside. He broke a tackle at the 30, 25, 20, down the sideline, out of bounds, 15. Fort Payne had Joe Gray up on the wing, and he just outran Joe.
And no pressure at all on the outside corners. He turned it upfield, picks up another Gadsden Tiger first down. They'll have the ball first and 10 on the Fort Payne 15-yard line. So a gain of 15 yards on the play.
Well, we'll try to figure out who that number 8 is. I don't think it's the one. I don't think it's Hunter. He's only a freshman. I don't think they would have a freshman in there. We'll try to pick up who that number 8 is from the PA announcer in just a minute. But Williams is lined up in there at fullback, and Gadsden is threatening. He's going to run his option play to the near side and keep the ball, cut it inside, and is drugged down right around the 14-yard line. Good play there by Fort Payne's defense.
Yeah, there was number 60, Charles Gamble, once again. If Charles hadn't made the tackle, he might very well have scored. He was about to break into the secondary, and the secondary was pretty spread pretty thin for the Wildcats, so probably a touchdown-saving tackle by Charles Gamble. He picks up about 2 yards on the play, so it will be second down and 8.
Robert Williams comes out of the game, and he's holding his left hand. And I don't know, they're taking him to the sideline and going to work on him. So Williams is not in there. They've got Harvey back in there at fullback now. It is second and 8 for the quarterback, Scott. Scott's going to pitch the ball to that tailback going to the far side, being chased over there. Being chased, being hemmed in. Now reverses his field and knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. Fort Payne knocked him down back around the 16 or 17.
Cameron Kennedy doing the job for the Wildcats. The blocker just could not take Cameron down. Cameron forced him to run wide. Then when they turned it back upfield, Cameron was there to make the tackle.
Well, PA announcer says that's Lewis Kemp. We're going to go ahead and go with him. Kemp is the one we had at number 21, and we thought he had left the team. So Kemp must have just decided to stay on the team and keep a different number. But Kemp is the tailback real side of it. Third down and 12 now for Gadsden. Fort Payne's going to need to come up with another big defensive play. Scott is your quarterback, and Scott's going to run the fullback, and Harvey found a little hole, but didn't get his first down. Got knocked down around the 11. They'll bring up fourth down and about 6 on the play. So Gadsden may go for a field goal. They call timeout. This is the timeout for the Heat. So we'll go ahead and pause for 1 minute on the Wildcat Sports Network with a score of Gadsden nothing, Fort Payne nothing. Back in 1 minute on the Wildcat Sports Network. Go ahead and turn it on. Gadsden has 4th down and 5, and no indication that they're going to kick a field goal. It looks like they're going to go for it. They have it on the Fort Payne 11. They've got to get to the 6 for a first down, and they're going to go for it. They have Walter Scott in there at quarterback, and the tailback is Kemp. The fullback is Harvey, and let's see what they decide to do. Now flag goes flying, and what's the call? This is an important call.
Let's see, maybe some of the Gadsden linemen lined up offside. That's the call.
That'll make it, now they're going to kick the field goal. Now they're going to send the field goal team in, as Gadsden had lined up in the neutral zone, so that's a big break, as Gadsden will now attempt the field goal.
Number 12, Luke Carlisle will come in. He'll be kicking the ball.
They've had a Carlisle down here for a long time. Carlisle's one of these soccer players.
This one's a freshman, so he'll be around for quite a while more.
32-yard field goal attempt by Carlisle. And he's kicking at an angle off to the right, a slight angle. But Carlisle, I would think, would have the distance from here. The snap is there. The kick is away. The kick is no good. Hit it off to the left. And Joe Gray may have got a hand on that.
Well, the way the ball was wobbling, it looks like it could have been tipped. It was just frailing everywhere. It was pretty ugly, actually.
Joe came flying in there, and he may have got a hand on that, but the first Fort Payne has stopped Gadsden's first penetration. Now the Wildcats will get it on the 20-yard line. Fort Payne's going to need to get something of their own. They got 4 yards out of 3 plays the last time. They'll send Daniel Thompson to the far side of the field and put Darrell Prater up on this wing on the near side. Damian Underwood, your quarterback, will roll back the pass, gave it up middle Beagles, and Randall found a little hole, got to the 25. Randall Beagles broke it off that left side and ran for 5 yards.
Good job by Randall Beagles. Once again, they go right up the middle at the Gadsden defense. This time, Randall picks up 5 yards when on the first 3. They could only pick up 4 cumulatively. So it'll be 2nd down and 5 from the 25 for the Wildcats.
8 yards for Randall on 3 carries. And they have that same setup with Daniel Thompson to the near side. Darrell Prater lined up on the wing on this near side. They sent McElrath in motion to win his option play. Gave it to Randall Beagles, and Beagles got a yard or 2. They'll bring up 3rd down and about 3 for Fort Payne when they spot it down. So Fort Payne's still trying to hit the middle of that Gadsden defense, and so far it's been very, very tough.
That time it was Elijah Bynum III making the tackle.
Wonder what happened to the first and the second.
Probably played here a few years ago.
Joe Gray in the game replacing Darrell Prater. See, Fort Payne throws that little pass to Joe Gray here. He's lined up on this wing, and he has man-on-man coverage here, and this play looks like it may be open, but they're not going to run it. They send Gray down the middle, going to throw the ball, throws the ball incomplete. Not a very good pass at all from Damian Underwood. Damian just kind of lobbed that ball out here, and he had Joe Gray open at the 32, but couldn't get it to him.
He was being pressured by, I think I saw it being number 5, but I don't find a number 5 on my roster. So the Wildcats will have to punt it away from their own, well, let's see, yards. So a good job by the Wildcat line. That's really the first time they've been in sync tonight.
Give them a 4-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for Fort Payne with 1:57 to go in the opening quarter. No score in the game. But Fort Payne has it, and they are threatening. And now Gadsden calls timeout. Confusion on the sideline, and Gadsden had to call the timeout. So we'll pause for 30 seconds on the Fort Payne Sports Net.
Middle of Gadsden. They started going to the sidelines and opening up the offense a bit, and so far it's working.
Fort Payne will be at the 17-yard line of Gadsden. And Gadsden called this timeout as they didn't have the people on the field they wanted on the field. Now here is Fort Payne to the line of scrimmage. They have Gray lined up on the wing on the near side, McElrath on the far side. They'll send Joe Gray in motion in his option to the far side. Gave it to Beagles. They kept himself. Damian is loose at the 15. Down the 10. 5 touchdown. Damian Underwood goes 17 yards for the touchdown. Big run by Damian.
Damian heading left. All of a sudden at the 10, he cut back inside, broke a tackle there, broke another tackle at the 5-yard line, and Damian goes in for the first touchdown of the evening.
1:44 to go in the first quarter, and Fort Payne's Damian Underwood gives Fort Payne a 6-0 lead with a 17-yard run. Hank Cobble will try to stick up the extra point. Daniel Thompson will hold, and Patrick Jackson will snap it back. The snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is away. The kick is good. 1:44 to go in the opening quarter. Fort Payne leads it by a score of 7-0. Back in 30 seconds on the Wildcat Sports Network.
Kick almost took the Tigers' head off on that throw down there. Did you see that?
That was an 80-yard drive.
Yep. 79. Whatever it was.
Got it after they missed a field goal, didn't they? Yeah. How many?
That was a fumble.
How many plays?
Took over on 45. 1, 2, 3, 4 plays. 10 seconds.
It was a 45-yard drive.
Yeah. Fort Payne did a good job after recovering a fumble.
Well, you got to take advantage of turnovers, and they got the ball on the 45 on the fumbled punt return and carried it in. And how many plays, Ronnie, for the touchdown?
Just 4 plays to go 47 yards in the TD at 1:45 in the first quarter.
So Fort Payne's Hank Cobble got a foot into it and knocked it towards the end zone again. It's going to be at the 1-yard line, and he's going to run it out. Back to the 15-20, got that far sideline, broke a tackle, broke another tackle, and got to the 34.
Good cut at the 25-yard line. Let him pick up about 7 more yards, so they'll be in business at their own. I think they're going to mark it around their own 38-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Gadsden Tigers.
That was Robert Williams on that punt return. So Williams is okay after injuring his hand a little earlier. But they'll mark it on, as Roger said, on the 34-yard line. 1:37 go in the opening quarter. Fort Payne leads it by a score of 7-0. And here come the Tigers to the line of scrimmage. And they have Scott in there at quarterback. And they have Harvey at fullback, and Williams is at tailback. Going to give the ball to Williams, and Williams is going to be on that far side. Broke a tackle at the 40. 45-50 down that far sideline. Cuts inside. He may go all the way. Back across the field at the 30. 25-20. Joe Gray is going to let him get by, and he scores. Great run by Robert Williams.
And there's a flag on the play at the Wildcats 38-yard line.
Flip against Gadsden. That run will be nullified. Now the Fort Payne crowd is happy.
Well, a 66-yard touchdown run, Larry, that's going to be brought back.
Coach Elmore was worried all week about this speed, and we saw it there as Robert Williams broke 2 or 3 tackles and outran a couple of players. But the flag is laying around the 37-yard line. So when they step off the penalty, it'll probably be about a 10 or 12 yards run he'll get credit for.
Well, it was a good run by the runner there. He broke about 3 arm tackles of the Wildcats. And I guess luckily for Fort Payne, it's going to come back because of the clip.
It'll be a 13-yard run. And that's much better than a 60-yard run, TD run. But Robert Williams and Coach Lorenzo was not too pleased with that. The clip occurred well behind the runner. As a coach, you hate to see plays like that. But it's a big break for Fort Payne. Gadsden will have it on their own 42-yard line. So here come the Tigers to the line of scrimmage. Nothing fancy about that. They just turned and pitched it to Williams, and he outran the corner on Fort Payne's right side over there, and then broke it down that far side, cut across the middle, went all the way. Scott, your quarterback, is going to keep it himself on an option play to the near side. And Scott's going to pitch the ball late, and he's going to be hit over here by Cameron Kennedy around the 48-yard line. Good job by Cameron Kennedy of hemming Kemp in and knocking him out of bounds after about a 2-yard gain.
Quarterback thought about keeping the ball, and I really don't think he gained anything by pitching it back to the trailing runner. So they pick up 2 yards, and it'll be 2nd down and 8.
Scott, you want to run that option play right along the line of scrimmage, and he circled back into the backfield. And once he did that, he was only running, as Roger said, a yard or 2 from Kemp, and once he pitched to Kemp, wasn't much Kemp could do about it. They have twin receivers to the far side of the field. Scott is your quarterback on a 2nd and 8 for the Tigers. Rolled back the pass, gave it up the middle of Kemp. Kemp broke a tackle at 50, outside the 45. He broke another tackle at the 40, down that far sideline. He may go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, and he'll be knocked out of bounds at the 18. I think it was Darrell Prater. He finally ran him out down there, but another big run by Kemp it was that time.
Once again, after 2 or 3 missed tackles, finally Darrell Prater fought off the block to make the tackle and save the touchdown. They get it down at the Wildcat, about the 17, 18-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
34-yard run by Kemp to put it down at the Fort Payne 16-yard line. And we've seen the speed already of this Gadsden team. Fort Payne leads at 7-0, but the Tigers are threatening. Here is Scott to the line of scrimmage. Wide out to left and right. He has Harvey and Kemp in there, fullback. Gave it to Kemp, and Kemp is hit down in the middle this time. Hit down right around the 16-yard line and picked up a yard on the play. That'll probably be the last play of the quarter. But Kemp was held to a single yard on that play.
And that was Scott Schrader making the tackle.
15 seconds to go in the quarter, and I don't think Gadsden's going to run another play. Fort Payne leads it by a score of 7-0, but the Tigers are certainly threatening.
Well, the last time the Tigers had the ball in this area, the Wildcat defense stiffened, forced them into a field goal try, which was maybe partially blocked, and at least it was no good in the quarter ends.
Into the first quarter, the score is Fort Payne 7, Gadsden nothing. We'll be back in 1 minute. Fort Payne leads at 7-0, Roger, but Gadsden is certainly threatening.
Well, they've done a good job pretty much in the middle of the field, but the other time they got into this deep in Wildcat territory, as we said earlier, they were forced into a field goal attempt that failed, and the Wildcat defense once again is going to try to stiffen up and keep them out of the end zone.
2nd and 8 for Gadsden at the Wildcat 15-yard line. They've got to get to the 8-yard line, about the 7-yard line actually, for a first down. So here is Gadsden. Ball's actually no without closer to the 16. Dryer in the game for Fort Payne at linebacker, replacing McLean. Fort Payne trying to get a little more speed in there. The second quarter is ready to start if Gadsden will run the play. They're still in the huddle. Been there a long time. And still no indication that they're going to run a play. Did I miss something here?
I think the ball's been marked, and officials marked that it was ready for play.
Well, evidently not, though. I don't think the officials have marked the ball ready for play.
I don't know what we're waiting on.
Now we go. Just a long break between quarters there.
Now we're ready. Everybody was ready except the officials. Now we're ready as Gadsden will come to the line of scrimmage with Walter Scott in there at quarterback. And they have Williams lined up at fullback, and Kemp is your tailback. Going to give the ball to keep himself, Scott did. Scott tuck it inside and got tackled after about a 2-yard gain. And I think of these backs that Gadsden has that I've seen, I think Fort Payne would rather see Mr. Scott carry it than either Harvey or Kemp or Williams.
Tackle was Cameron Kennedy, and looked like it might have been it wasn't a fumble, but there was a good chance of it. The way he was holding that ball out in one hand, and he was kind of frailing around with it. Looked like it had been an easy target. Someone should have knocked that ball loose.
Here's 3rd and 8. Just a big play. But Gadsden, of course, they may go for it if they can get some positive yardage on this play. Scott is your quarterback. Williams and Kemp are lined up in the backfield behind him, going to roll back the pass. Gave it to Williams. Williams was trying to get outside. It's been knocked out of bounds around the 15. Good job by Fort Payne there. As they came up and knocked him out of bounds a yard behind the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 4th down and 8.
Give the credit for that to Dustin Hill, number 62 for the Wildcats, as he stuffed things up at the line of scrimmage, forcing the runner who wanted to go left, really, had to come back to the near side. By that time, Pursuit had caught up with him and knocked him out of bounds.
52. You say number 52?
Dustin Hill.
Van Bermel.
No, it wasn't 52 then, but it was Dustin Hill.
32-yard field goal. Carlisle will try to hit a 32-yarder. And Fort Payne didn't really know if he's going to kick it or not. They're not going to come after him this time. The snap is high. The kick is well. No, good. Hit it way off to the left. Look at Fort Payne rough him. Fort Payne rough the kicker. It's going to be a penalty.
Actually, that's Joe Gray along with Scott Schrader. I think both of them hit the kicker.
And that's going to give Gadsden what a break. Hit it way off to the left. Wasn't close, but they roughed the kicker. It'll be a first down.
That was 62, not 52 a moment ago. That is Dustin Hill.
Well, that's Fort Payne has made a huge mistake here. They'd stopped Gadsden, and Schrader and Gray came in there, and both of them piled on him, and it'll be a step off and give them a first down.
Gray was actually, we'll have to check on this, Larry. Gray was injured on that play, so Gray is out of the game on the defense right now.
So the roughing the kicker penalty gives Gadsden the first down at the Fort Payne 7.5-yard line.
So this drive was kept alive by a roughing the kicker penalty. We'll have to keep that in mind. Here is Scott to the line of scrimmage, and Scott is going to give it to Kemp. And Kemp is keeping himself, this guy, rolling right, throws it in the end zone, and it is complete for the touchdown. Complete to Robert Williams for the touchdown. Flag then, check the flag. Check the flag here, and Gadsden had 2 ineligible receivers downfield. 2 of those linemen were down there around the 3-yard line, so this one's going to come back and 15-yard step off.
And lost it down.
Yep. So Gadsden has stopped themselves twice on penalties.
2 touchdowns now brought back by penalties.
How luckier can you get than the Wildcats have already tonight, guys?
It was a good play. The Wildcat secondary was confused, and it was an easy touchdown for Gadsden. And unfortunately, those 2 players downfield will bring it back.
Well, it's only a 5-yard step off, but that's it. And not a loss of down. I guess they've changed that rule. So it is not a loss of down. It's a 5-yard step off and not a loss of down. So Coach Elmore thinks it is a loss of down. They still got it first down there, but anyway, it's back at the 12. Back at the 12-yard line, so Gadsden will be first and goal from the 12. Scott is your quarterback again. And Scott will be in under the center. He's going to roll back to pass again. Wants to throw the ball. Being pressured, being flushed out of the pocket, and thrown all the way back to the 32-yard line. Fort Payne got him back at the 32. Big play by Fort Payne.
Well, a big tackle by Fort Payne, as well as the referee helped on the tackle.
That was number 76 who made that tackle for Fort Payne, Brandon Waller. And Waller got in there and threw him all the way back to the 32. Second down and goal from the 32-yard line.
About a 17-yard loss on the quarterback sack for the Wildcats.
That's a couple of sacks Fort Payne has had. They got Kemp earlier for a 4-yard loss.
That time there was good coverage in the secondary. Quarterback couldn't find anyone open, and ultimately he had to eat it.
They bring Dryer in, Fort Payne does, to give it a little bit more speed in that linebacker position. And this is Scott from the 32-yard line. Second down and goal from the 32. Scott, your quarterback, will roll back to pass again. Being flushed out of pocket. He's going to keep it. He's at the 30. 25, 20, got a block. 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Well, 32-yard run by Walter Scott.
And this time, Larry, there is no flag on the play.
Boy, he's got some speed, too. Forget what I said about him not having speed. Walter Scott goes 32 yards.
So number 12, Luke Carlisle now will come in and attempt the extra point that would tie this game up. The Wildcats lead 7-6.
Carlisle will try to stick this one up here. Keep in mind this drive was kept alive by a Fort Payne roughing the kicker penalty. Snap is good. The kick is away. The kick is good. And 9:56 to go in the opening quarter, opening half. Fort Payne and Gadsden are tied at 7 apiece. Back in 30 seconds, the Wildcat Sports Network. Well, Fort Payne roughed the kicker was a costly penalty that time.
Sure was, Larry. They had thwarted another scoring attempt by the Gadsden Tigers, but on the field goal attempt, they roughed the kicker. They get another shot at it, and this time they go into the end zone to tie things up at 7-7.
So Carlisle will, that's not Carlisle in there to kick. That's one of those big linemen. We'll try to get his number in just a minute. But he'll kick it away. Fort Payne has Bickerstaff, Prater, and Gray. And it's a short kick that's going to be bouncing around. It's loose, and Fort Payne has it at the 42. I don't think he intended to squib that kick. Just hit it off the side. And Fort Payne, well, those linemen did a good job getting back there to get it.
Jay Durham picks the ball up.
It'll be Fort Payne's ball at the 42-yard line, so good field position with 9:53 to go in the opening half. Fort Payne 7, Gadsden 7. And the Wildcats are going to have to drive it down the field again.
But good field position, you say, at the 42, so basically they've had the distance they have to cover cut in half, so good starting position for the Wildcats.
Darrell Prater back in there at that wing-back position on the far side. And David Underwood fumbled the football and had the ball on it. He fumbled the football, and it'll be a, well, I guess, 1-yard loss.
I think Randall Beagles actually got on the ball that time. It looked like Randall came up with it, and it is a loss of, well, about 1.5 yards, and it'll be second down, and it'll just over 11.
Not a good way to start a drive. 9:29 to go in the half. We're tied at 7 apiece. Fort Payne and Gadsden. And Damian Underwood is in there at quarterback. They send Prater in motion to the near side. Going to give it to Prater. Darrell Prater trying to get outside at the 40, 45. Got across the 48-yard line, close to the 50. They're going to mark him down about 3 yards short of the first down. So about a 9-yard run by Darrell Prater will bring up 3rd and 3.
3rd down and 3 to go for the Wildcats. Darrell stretching out there, tried to move the ball forward. They didn't allow that, and it will be 3rd down, 2.5, almost 3 yards to go for the Wildcat first down.
He has it his own 49. Fort Payne's got to get into the Gadsden 48 for a first down. With 8:49 to go in this opening half, we're tied at 7 apiece. This is a big play for Fort Payne's offense. And Joe Gray been in the dressing room just now coming out. Fort Payne will give it to Prater. Got his first down at 45. Broke it outside the 40. Is cutting back inside at the 35-yard line. Goes Randall Beagles. And Randall Beagles picked up a very, very big first down. Went from the 49 down to the Gadsden 36. 13 yards to pick up.
Looks like one of those carries we've begun to expect from Randall this year. Made a couple of good cuts to pick up extra yardage, and as you said, Larry, he has a first down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the Gadsden 37-yard line. And we have an official timeout.
Who called time? Somebody called time. Gadsden. Yeah, Gadsden called time.
Gadsden has an injured player.
Yeah, they have an injured player. So while they work on this injured player, let's pause for 30 seconds on the Wildcats. Well, that's the way he's going there, as they like to say. Walter Scott is the quarterback. We mentioned earlier, Gadsden has to play 8 different players both ways. So if one of their players get hurt, they could, in effect, lose a couple of starters. 8:20 to go in the first half. We're tied at 7 apiece. Fort Payne and Gadsden. Fort Payne has it on the Gadsden 37. McElrath is in motion. Now a flag. What's the call on the far side over there? Official on the far side. Lewis whistle, and it'll be against motion against Fort Payne. Like a wide receiver on the far side must have moved. The first penalty of the night against Fort Payne.
No, again, a roughing, big roughing the kicker penalty. That will be the second penalty against Fort Payne. It is a motion call, so we ended up with about first down and 15 yards to go down.
I'll step it back to the 41-yard line. So here's Fort Payne with first and 15 now. Damian Underwood is your quarterback. He'll send a man in motion, and Fort Payne's in motion again.
That time it was Randall Beagles.
Randall Beagles. They sent McElrath in motion, and Randall Beagles also moved. So Gadsden will probably decline this one. Yep, Coach Delaren's on the sideline already signaling decline it, and all of a sudden Fort Payne starting to self-destruct.
So it'll be second down now in 15. 2 consecutive motion penalties. As you said, Gadsden declines the second one to take it down. Instead of yardage, it'll be second and 15.
Actually, he lost a yard, so Fort Payne moving backwards. I still think that little pop pass is going to be open on that wing, and Fort Payne sends Joe Gray in, so they may try to run that thing this time. As Gray lines up on the wing on the far side. They send Thomas Brandon wide to the near side on a second down and 16. David Underwood, your quarterback, will roll back the pass. He's going to throw the ball, throws it long down that far side. He has Gray, and it's complete. Another great catch down around the 19-yard line with Joe Gray.
Great catch.
That's an outstanding catch. As Joe Gray went up and caught it, it drug a foot at the 19-yard line. Big play by Fort Payne.
Joe Gray showing patience on that ball. He had to come back and wait on it, managed to plant his feet in bounds, made the grab. Even the ball really was out of bounds when he caught it. His feet remained in bounds, and it's a big first down for the Wildcats at the 19-yard line.
How long was that pass, right?
27-yard pickup, as Roger said, a big first down for the Wildcats.
And Fort Payne has it at the 19-yard line of Gadsden with 7:35 to go in this opening half. We're tied at 7 apiece. Gray is in motion, going to run his option play, and Damon's going to keep it cut inside, and got by a couple of tacklers and got down to the 12. Picked up 2 or 3 yards on the play, but it'll be second and 8. Well, it came more than that. He got more. He got inside to 15.
He
got
picked
down
up
to
6 yards.
Picked up 6 yards. With a
Good decision by Damon to keep the ball. If he had continued going left, I think he would have been stopped for maybe a couple of yards gain. Instead, he kept the ball himself, cut inside, picks up 6, second down and 4.
Mark it on between the 12 and the 13-yard line. So Fort Payne driving in a 7-7 game. They send Daniel Thompson to the near side and go up and line up in that double wing formation. And Prater is in motion to the near side. Going to run his inside to McElrath. Found a hole. Broke a tackle outside at the 10. Racing outside to 5. And he's going to be inside the 5 down to the 4. First down.
Looked like he might have had a face mask. Sorry to interrupt you, Larry. Looked like almost a face mask on McElrath. He adjusted his helmet after the tackle. Kind of looked at the official, but he doesn't throw a flag. And it'll be first and goal for the Wildcats just inside the 5-yard line. 9-yard gallop by Elliott McElrath gives Fort Payne a first down and goal from the ball nose just inside the 5-yard line. 6:33, so Fort Payne trying to answer the Gadsden score. We're tied at 7 apiece. Damian is your quarterback. He has Randall Beagles lined up behind him. Damian will run his reverse to Prater, and he's hit down at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there. Fort Payne couldn't sustain the block, and he was thrown there right at the line of scrimmage. That was old Elijah Bynum again making the tackle.
6:08 to go, and Fort Payne really has not been very successful in the middle of that Gadsden line. Thomas Brandon in for Fort Payne, replacing Daniel Thompson. This is a second down and goal from the 5. Damian to the line of scrimmage. He has Elliott McElrath and Randall Beagles lined up behind him. He sends Prater in motion, keeps it himself with a run-pass option, and is down behind the line of scrimmage. Going down to 7. Gadsden did a good job that time.
He had, it looked to me at least, like he had Randall Beagles out of the backfield open in the end zone. If Damien had looked up and saw him, I think he could have thrown a touchdown pass to Randall Beagles. But it'll bring up a big third down play now, and the ball, well, outside 5, it's the 7-yard line, and we have timeout.
This is a timeout for the Heat. So we're back in 1 minute on the Wildcat Sports Network with a score of Fort Payne 7, Gadsden 7. Back in 1 minute. Fort Payne has 3rd and goal for the 7-yard line, and there to the line of scrimmage. Gadsden is there also. Damien Underwood is your quarterback, the wing formation, and Damien's going to run to the right of the run pass option, throws to the end zone. It is batted away at the last minute, and a penalty play. Penalty play. What's the flag down there? I don't see any Fort Payne linemen downfield.
No, it's going to be a hold, I believe, against Fort Payne, Larry.
The ball was thrown in the end zone. 2 flags.
Looked like it was going to be a touchdown, knocked away at the last moment by Lamar Kendrick, and waiting to see what the flag.
That's interference against Fort Payne. Okay.
There wasn't anybody over there around the receiver.
That's a 15-yard penalty and a loss of down. I don't know what happened. I didn't see anybody doing anything down there. The receiver was 5 yards. He had separated himself 5 yards from the defender.
The official that threw the flag was standing at the line of scrimmage. That's where he threw the flag.
Yeah. Hey, Cobble's going to have to come in and kick a long-distance field goal now. It'll be a 15-yard step off and loss of down, I think. So Hank's going to have to hit
be about 39 yards.
Let's see. That's a loss of down. 4th down. Back to the 23. About a 40-yard field goal it'll be. So Hank Cobble's going to have to hit a 40-yard field goal. Now Fort Payne calls timeout. Coach Elmore wants an explanation, I think. Well, anyway, we got a timeout on the field. Timeout with a score of Fort Payne 7, Gadsden 7. Back in 30 seconds on the Wildcat Sports Network. Hank Cabo lining up to attempt a 39-yard field goal. And Fort Payne trying to break this 7-7 tie. The ball is snapped high over his head. And Daniel Thompson will have to go back and get it. He kicked the ball. When they picked up, they can't pick it up. It's still loose, but Gadsden will have it. He picked the ball up and he had his knee on the ground. Gadsden will have it all the way back at the 46-yard line.
Fort Payne.
That's just an awful snap. Snapped it way over the head of Daniel Thompson and never had a chance. So here's Gadsden now with a chance to take the lead. Gadsden will have it all the way back at the Fort Payne 47-yard line. Well, you mentioned during the break there, Roger, typical Fort Payne Gadsden game.
Yeah, Larry, it is typical. They're always close. They may be low scoring, they may be high scoring, and this is just typical. I mean, you know, they're staying pretty even, and it seems like it's going to be another typical Fort Payne Gadsden game. Walter Scott back in there, quarterback for Gadsden. And Scott will hand off up the middle, broke a tackle, and broke another tackle. Football, Fort Payne has it. And that's a great tackle there by somebody.
Another flag coming in.
I think that's just a marker to mark.
Okay.
Fort Payne will get it at the 42-yard line.
That's Josh Miller picking up the fumble.
Who made the tackle? Was that David Richardson on the hit? Somebody made a great tackle and knocked the ball loose. But that was Williams who picked up 4 yards and fumbled the football, and Fort Payne will have it at their own 40, but they had it on the 5 a little while ago. So here is Fort Payne. Mistakes will probably determine this game. Fort Payne's made a couple already, and that's Gadsden's first mistake. Well, I made a couple, made one more on that long touchdown run. Actually, quarterback. McElrath in motion, gave it to Beagles. Beagles is going to be struggling and got about 3 or 4 yards when it didn't look like there was anything there.
It almost looked like Randall about lost the handle on the ball when he took it from Damien. Managed to hold on and pushes forward for about a 4-yard gain. It'll be second down and maybe a little more than 6.
Ball is marked up at the 44-yard line. Clock not a factor yet. 4:30 to go in the opening half. Fort Payne 7, Gadsden 7. Thomas Brendan to the far side of the field, and they line up in that double wing set again with Prater and McElrath and Beagles back there. He'll roll back the pass, will Damien. Rolls, throws. He's going to be complete out there. Thomas Brendan, he has his first down at the 42-yard line of Gadsden.
Good job by Thomas Brandon running along the right sideline, pushed the defender back into Gadsden territory. Thomas brought it back in toward his quarterback, picks up the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 Fort Payne at the Gadsden 43-yard line.
12-yard pickup from Underwood to Brandon. As Roger said, a first down for the Wildcats.
And Damien is 2 of 3 for 29 yards. And this will be Damien again to the left, being pressured. Knows that he's going to complete the Beagles at the 40. 35, cut inside the 30, down to 25, broke a tackle to the outside, cut back to the inside. He's at the 16, with 10-yard line, racing across the middle and down to the 5-yard line goes Randall Beagles.
Another great job of Randall with those cutbacks. No less than 3 or 4 cutbacks on that run, Larry. And I don't know what's got into Randall this year. He's making those moves that I haven't seen him make before.
38 yards on that one, so Damien Underwood is 3 of 4. And here's Fort Payne again with the ball exactly where it was 3 minutes ago. Nose just inside the 5-yard line, 1st and goal, but a great run by Randall Beagles. 3:29 to go, and the clock is moving. Fort Payne trying to take the lead. We're tied at 7 apiece. The quarterback is Damien Underwood. And Damien is at the line of scrimmage. He'll run his reverse to McElrath. He got hit in the line of scrimmage. Picked up maybe a half yard on the play. But this is the same thing that happened a little while ago down here. Fort Payne just couldn't move the ball.
And Elijah Bynum again stepping up here at the goal line and making the tackle. His 3rd tackle of the night.
No gain on the play. They mark it right back in the same spot. Elliot McElrath has 3 carries. He's gained 0, 9, and 0. We need about a 5-yard run here. 2:51 to go in the half. 7 apiece is the score. They send Prater in motion. They're going to give it to Prater. He's cut inside. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown. Darrell Prater goes 5 yards for the touchdown.
Good job of Darrell following his blocker into the end zone. I really can't see. That looks like number 67 maybe for the Wildcats. Let him into the end zone. If it is 67, that's Whit Evans, and I believe that's who it was. So let's give Whit credit for the touchdown, along with Elliott, and the Wildcats are back in the lead.
So Fort Payne goes 62 yards it is on the drive. And Darrell Prater goes the last 5. Fort Payne leads it 13-7. Hank Cobble will try to put it up there. Got it up, and it is good. 2:40 to go in the half. Fort Payne leads by a score of 14-7. Back in 30 seconds on the Wildcat Sports Network. How many plays?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 pass plays.
You know, that run that Beagles scored on looked like a run that a receiver makes after a screen pass.
Yeah.
It wasn't a screen, but that's the type run it looked like. Blockers were set up really well, but he did those cuts on his own. What's got him there?
10 seconds.
I don't know. Well, Roger, the passing of Damien Underwood set that up. Had a couple of strikes. Just one to Thomas Brandon for 12 yards, and then that 38-yard pass to Randall Beagle.
Well, let's give the credit mainly to Randall on that one. It looked almost like a screen pass, which it really wasn't. He wound his way through all the defenders down to the 4-yard line. So
Hank Cobble kicks this one 5 yards deep in the end zone. Not much chance of a run back there, and Fort Payne will kick it into the end zone. Good job by Hank Cobble.
Second time tonight, Hank has put it in the end zone. So once again, the Gadsden Tigers will have to start on their own 20-yard line. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first half.
Fort Payne with a 7-point lead, and Gadsden's going to have to go 80 yards to tie this thing before halftime. See who they have in there at quarterback. They have Scott in there. We haven't seen Garmany in at quarterback. Garmany has been in at wide receiver a couple of times, but Scott is still in there at quarterback. And they have Williams and Kemp lined up behind him. Williams fumbled the last time he had the football. This will be Kemp. Kemp will come to the far side, the near side, and got outside, and there's going to be a tackle behind the line of the tackle right now. He still moves. He's back behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to the far side, cut it inside, and he's going to be up to the 30-yard line. Broke another tackle and got all the way to the 34-yard line. Man alive. A 14-yard run when it looked like, and there's an illegal block back there. The flag's laying all the way back on the 12-yard line, so that's going to be half the distance. That put him back to the 6.
Well, he disappeared from sight around the 15-yard line. I thought for sure he was buried under that. And next thing you know, he's out and gone again, but there is a flag.
Fort Payne had white shirts all over him, and then when he broke out, started to the far side of the field, it looked like that there was going to be some illegal blocking there. because of the angle the blockers had to take. And it'll be a half a distance step off from about the 12. That's another big break for Fort Payne. They'll step it back to the 6. So Gadsden is self-destructing, and really, Coach Elmore mentioned a couple of times, they really have some speed in this backfield.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from Gadsden now at their own, between their own 6 and 7 yard line. And once again, Gadsden will have to go about 84 yards if they're going to tie this up before the end of the first half.
They now have Harvey in there at fullback. They move Williams back to tailback. Scott is your quarterback, and this will be Harvey. And Harvey found a hole and got up to the 12. That's much better than the 14-yard run a little while ago. 2nd down and long. They've got to get to the 30 for a 1st down.
Dustin Hill again on the tackle.
A minute 50 to go in the half. Fort Payne and Gadsden. Fort Payne leads it by a score of 14-7. David Richardson limps out for Fort Payne, being replaced by Dreyer. Gadsden taking an awful long time in the huddle. They may just be satisfied to get out of here with a 14-7 deficit. Got the ball 2nd and long. What they don't want to do down here is make a mistake. Walter Scott is your quarterback. Fort Payne's going to bring a linebacker, and Scott's going to run the ball. Scott is at the 10 and fell down. Fell down up around the 15. And maybe Fort Payne can stop him right here. They'll probably call a timeout. They'll give Hank Cobble a shot at a long-distance field goal. Scott is your quarterback. He wants to throw the ball. He's going to throw his little screen, and it's incomplete. And a flag comes flying in there. Fort Payne interfered. That was Dreyer, the linebacker, who came in there and committed the interference, and that'll give Gadsden the 1st down.
The ball was not catchable, but as we all know, in high school it doesn't matter.
And Dreyer was all over his back, so that's just Fort Payne made a couple of really glaring mistakes tonight. Down to 35 seconds, that's a good thing about it, but if you don't make that mistake, you're probably going to get the ball back around midfield, and Hank might have a shot at a long-distance field goal, but now Gadsden can certainly run the clock out. Penalty up to the 31 will give Gadsden the 1st down. So Fort Payne has roughed the kicker to give Gadsden the 1st down, and now they've stopped another drive and commit pass interference to give them another 1st down. Clock will start when the ball is snapped, and Gadsden may try to go long here. Or may give it to one of those back. They're going to pitch the ball to Williams, and he's trying to get outside. He's got blockers out there at the 35, and it's going to be shot down finally at the 35. And now we're just going to wait till he goes to the ground before we call it, because he's broken a couple of those, and then they may just let the clock run. It's down to 20, down to 18 seconds. Williams picked up 4 yards on the play. Now Gadsden calls timeout. Timeout on the field. Gadsden with 16 seconds to go in the 1st half. Fort Payne 14, Gadsden 7. Back in 30 seconds, and the Wildcats. Well, Gadsden called this timeout, and why not? If they've got people like Scott, and Williams, and Kemp in the backfield, why not call timeout? Well, one of those guys.
Well, you think they did, if that was their intention all along, they'd have wasted a lot of valuable time up until this point, though, Larry.
Yeah. At the 35-yard line, nose just across the 35. Fort Payne leads at 14-7. We mentioned it is homecoming here at Gadsden, so looking forward to this great homecoming show here.
Oh, homecoming.
The last week was not homecoming in Cherokee County, was it? This week is. So here's Scott. He has wideouts left and right. Scott will give it to Kemp. Kemp is outside. Cameron Kennedy tackled him. Great tackle there by Cameron Kennedy up around the 42. If Cameron Kennedy doesn't make the tackle, he's going to be one-on-one down here with Darrell Prater. That play picked up 7 yards and a 1st down.
Gadsden will call another timeout with 8 seconds remaining here in the 1st half.
One more play. Did they call a timeout earlier? So I think that's their last timeout. But, man, every time one of these guys get the ball, scares you to death. Robert Williams and Lewis Kemp and Walter Scott. Fort Payne has all the speed they've got back there in the backfield. You just think that one of these defensive backs are going to have to run him down, and now Gadsden brings Scott out and puts Garmity in. So Garmity must be the passer. So this is the first time Scott's been out. I'm kind of glad to see him out of the game. But Jim Garmity, the 6'2", 175-pound senior, is in there at quarterback for the Tigers, and Scott is on the sideline. let's see if Garmany cranks it out and throws it deep. They don't really have they have twin receivers on the near side. Garmany will roll straight back to pass. Garmany whips it across the middle. It is complete at the 40-yard line. It's going to be down to the 35-yard line, but that'll be the last play of the half. At the end of the first half, Fort Payne leads Gadsden by a score of 14-7. Back in 2 minutes on the Wildcat Sports Network.
Well, Scott Schrader buried him, quarterback.
25-yard pass.
Expect probably a typical Fort Payne Gadsden game here going down the second half.
Well, I think it'll be I don't know if we've ever had one that won a great game, and Vince have had some problems. They've had some injuries, and they've had some kids that dropped out on them and stuff, but I'll tell you what they do. They get their guys to play hard, and they've got 3 or 4 guys that have tremendous talent, and it's going to be a tough football game. But if we're going to win, we've got to take the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball and take control of it and win that battle up there and try to keep the ball ourselves and run some clock and wear them down.
Good luck the second half, Coach. Back to you, Larry.
So you heard Coach Elmore, and he talked about that speed all week long that the Gadsden Tigers have, and it certainly was evident in that first half. But Fort Payne leads it by a score of 14-7. Fort Payne is back on the field. Gadsden not yet on the field. So let's go ahead and take one more 2-minute break. One more 2-minute break on the Wildcat Sports Network.
Biggest crowd I've ever seen here.
Fort Payne deferred to start this game, so they have their choice as we start this second half, and they will receive. So Fort Payne will be receiving from our right, and look like they may have a little bit of a wind at their back. We were checking those flags during the break, and the flag down in the end zone looked kind of limp. The flags across the way on the other bleachers over there look like they're blowing left or right, which would be in Fort Payne's face. But if there is any wind, it certainly didn't affect Hank Cobble on a couple of those kicks. He drilled them into the end zone. But Ronnie, Roger Engel just got back and said on the Gadsden sideline, biggest crowd he'd ever seen here.
Yeah, it is pretty big. We made a comment, of course, it is homecoming, but usually the crowd's kind of slim here. We got a pretty good representation across the way from the Fort Payne crowd, and we do welcome everyone listening on the Wildcat Sports Network back at Fort Payne. Once again, we'll be on the road again next Friday night. Around here, we'll be just over in Ocala playing Etowah High School, so we invite you to come out to that game.
Larry King will kick it away. He's the big guy, the 9th grader, 6'3", 250 pounds. And he split that a little while ago, the only other kick he's had. And I don't know if he intended to do that. Don't think he did. But King is there to kick it away. Fort Payne will send Gray, Prater, and Bickerstaff deep. And the whistle has sounded, and we're about ready to get this second half underway with Fort Payne leading 14-7. And King approaches the ball this time and got his foot into it this time. Knocked it all the way down to Prater at the 10. Got the right side 15. Got his feet knocked out. Got a hold of 20, 45, 50, and he's going to be tackled out of bounds before he got to the 50. Good run by Darrell Prater as he ran it all the way back from the 10 to the 45. So Fort Payne, excellent field position.
Well, he was one block away from going all the way. Number 15, Kendra White, finally knocked him out of bounds. The Wildcats have it 1st and 10 on their own 45-yard line.
Squarely on the 45, just underway in the second half. Fort Payne 14, Gadsden 7. Damian Underwood to the line of scrimmage with a wide out to the near side of the field. That's Daniel Thompson. The Veer formation in the backfield behind him, and he's going to run up the middle to do the Beagles, and he didn't get anything. Got hit right at the line of scrimmage, and they're really keying on Randall Beagles. They knocked him down. They're going to mark it. He lost a yard on the play. Randall ran 8 times for 32 yards the first half, and lost a yard on that play.
For Gadsden, number 80, Chad Williams, not fooled on the play. Made the tackle, drove him back, and they lost about 1 yard on the play.
Look like they're really keying on Randall Beagles tonight. So Fort Payne will be at the line of scrimmage with that same formation. Darrell Prater's lined up on the wing on the far side. And Damon will roll to the left side on the run pass option. He throws. He is going to be incomplete. Tried to hit Thomas Brendan down around the 45, and the ball was underthrown. So Damian is 3 of 5 now.
Good job there of Thomas Brandon trying to come back for the ball. It was just a little bit too much underthrown, and he couldn't scoop it off the turf. So it brings up third down now.
3rd and 11 for Fort Payne. 11:09 to go in the half. And Fort Payne hanging on to a 14-7 lead. They'll send Hood to the far side of the field, and Prater lines up in that wing on the far side. Damien is your quarterback, and he'll roll back to pass. Damien is under pressure. He's going to run it. He's at the 45, 50, trying to get outside, and he's going to be tackled short of the first down, down around the 49-yard line. Somebody came back from behind and caught him, but Damien picked up 6 yards, but he's going to be short of the first down.
I can't really see his number. I think it was number 30 that came back to get him. That was Terrell Harvey that came up and made the tackle. Looked like Damien might be able to pick up the first down. Harvey got him from behind. It brings up 4th down, and Brandon will have to come in and punt the ball away.
He's trying to shake a defender up around midfield and cut to his right. And when he did, one of those big linemen ran him down from behind. Thomas Brandon will kick it from around his own 40. Got a good snap. Got away a high whistling kick that's going to be over the head. He went back and caught it on the 5. And Fort Payne has a chance to pin him down, but he's loose on the sideline. Up to the 10, knocked out of bounds at the 15. Well, they knocked him down at the 19, but Hagedorn, Fort Payne had a chance to knock him down back there deep on the after the great Thomas Brandon kick.
A 45-yard kick by Brandon. Pretty good pickup for Gadsden. They'll start the ball on their 19-yard line.
Shannon Shankles knocked him out of bounds.
Fort Payne had somebody back there, but Thomas really got his foot into that one. And if that wind is at Fort Payne's back, there was certainly no indication of it on that play. So here's Gadsden, that high-powered Gadsden offense with those speedy backs in there. They have Scott in at quarterback, and they have Williams in at fullback, and Kemp is your tailback. This will be Williams, and he broke a tackle straight up the middle. He may go all the way, 30, 35, 40, down this near sideline. He's at the 30-yard line, 20, 15, 10. Joe Gray chasing him, touchdown. He busted him right up the middle and went all the way.
He was almost down at the line of scrimmage, and once he got past that point, Larry, he was in the open. The only hope was Joe Gray, who was trailing by about 15 yards, and Joe steadily made up ground on him, but unfortunately couldn't catch him before he crossed the goal line. And now Gadsden, with the extra point, could tie this game.
81 yards on that run by Robert Williams. With 10:01 to go in the 3rd quarter. We're almost back even. Carlisle will try to tack on the game-tied extra point. Snap is good. The kick is away. The kick is good. 10:01 to go in the 3rd quarter. We're tied again at 14 apiece. Back in 30 seconds for the Wildcats Sports Network.
I thought Coach Elmore really seemed positive at the half.
We didn't have a linebacker on this side. Richardson was lined up on the tight end position. There was nobody back there.
Yeah, once we cleared, we had it.
Ten seconds.
Coach De Lorenzo, before this game started, you heard him talking, didn't think this was going to get into a scoring contest, but I tend to disagree with him. Fort Payne certainly can't stop Gadsden, and Gadsden, for the most part, has not been able to stop Fort Payne.
Well, it looks like it's going to be who makes the less number of mistakes, penalty-wise, as well as tackling and other physical mistakes could win the game.
King knocked it to Bickerstaff on this near side, up the near side to the 10, 15, 20, cut it outside and got tackled at the 24. So the worst field position Fort Payne has had to start. They'll start at their own 24. And Fort Payne's going to have to do something with the ball, I would think, right now. 9:53 to go in the 3rd quarter. And it's tied at 14 apiece. But Williams just rambled right up the middle and went 81 yards really after he got by the line of scrimmage, went untouched.
Well, the last time Gadsden scored, the Wildcats came right back on their next possession and scored to go up on them. And let's see how the Wildcats respond as they have it 1st and 10 from their own 24.
Fort Payne will run their option play. Gave it a pitch it outside. Ball is fumbled. McElrath had to fall on it. Yeah, he finally got it right around the line of scrimmage. And it didn't really look like a bad pitch. Elliot McElrath just dropped it and then fell on it for no gain.
We're lucky we came up with the ball. Actually, the ball was still laying on the ground when the Gadsden defenders arrived. They just overshot the ball. Then Elliott was able to scoop it in under him. And the Wildcats lucky to retain possession. And the play goes for no gain, so it's now 2nd and 10.
Fort Payne with Daniel Thompson wide to the near side, 2nd down and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Damon is your quarterback. He has Prater in motion, going to give it to Prater. And Darrell Prater is going to hit behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe he was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, but I don't think so. I think he's thrown a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
There is a penalty flag on the ground. We'll have to see who that is against.
Check the flag. The umpire threw the flag, and they're saying it's against Fort Payne. Illegal procedure against Fort Payne. I don't know what the call of illegal procedure is. Second time it's called that. Coach Elmore is livid along the sideline. I don't know what Fort Payne's doing wrong.
Well, I don't know. The flag seemed to come really after the play had already started. It seemed to be a late flag for an illegal procedure. As you say, Coach Elmore walking all the way down to the 30-yard line trying to find out what's going on from the official.
They declined the penalty, and the umpire threw the flag. I don't understand that. Anyway, it'll be 3rd down. They declined the penalty. 3rd and 10 for Fort Payne, so a big play now for Fort Payne. Fort Payne has got to get it to the 34 for a 1st down, and they do not need to give this ball back to Gadsden. So this is a big play. 8:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 10 for Fort Payne. They went 3 downs and out the last time. Damian rose to pass. Damian will throw it long. He has Joe Gray open, and he overthrew him. Joe Gray was all by himself down around the Gadsden 35, and he overthrew him.
Joe had broken clear of both of the defenders and would have been wide open for the end zone. As you say, Damian overthrows him by about 5 yards, so the Wildcats will now have to punt and give the ball back to the Gadsden Tigers, and they should get good field position. The receiver drops back around their own 35-yard line, so Gadsden should have good field position to begin this possession.
Damian threw that ball about 60 yards in the air. If he could have thrown it about a 55, Fort Payne would have had a touchdown. Thomas Brandon gets a good snap, and he got his kick away. A wobbly end over end. Hagedorn calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 44. So Gadsden will have good field position to start this drive, and the last time they had it, they went 81 yards in one play. Fort Payne's defense is going to be called on again to stop this Gadsden team. And I don't know if they can do it or not, Raj.
Well, you know, Gadsden seemingly is not putting together play after play after play. It seems to be just one big play every time that rears its ugly head and bites the Wildcats. So the Wildcats going to have to stiffen up and not give them that big play.
8:29 to go in the 3rd quarter. Fort Payne 14, Gadsden 14. The quarterback is Scott, and Scott has Williams and Kemp lined up behind him. And it's going to be Williams this time, straight up the middle, found a big hole, and he may go. He's down to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Nobody touched him. He went 56 yards straight up the middle, and nobody touched him.
Well, Larry, you can give credit, or at least the Gadsden people want to give credit to number 58, Charles Taylor, along with 64, Rufus Watson. They laid a big hole on that Wildcat line. All he had to do was run through that hole and go straight to the end zone untouched.
Man, Gadsden has scored on touchdown runs of 81, 54, 32. Carlisle will try to stick up the extra point. Snap is good. The kick is away. The kick is good. 8:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Gadsden leads it by a score of 21-14. Back in 30 seconds on the Wildcat Sports Network. Well, Fort Payne's had the ball twice this second half. They've gone 3 downs and out both times. Gadsden's had it twice. They've scored on the first play both times. They lead at 21-14. King will kick it away again, and it will go to Bickerstaff. And Bickerstaff back at his 1. Far side to the 15, 20, and Bickerstaff is going to be across the 20-yard line to the 23. So Fort Payne's going to have to do something on offense this time.
Right, the Wildcats have really just been, well, I guess the last time, actually, they were still 10 yards away after they went for downs on 3rd down. But really, tonight, the Wildcats have been able to move the ball fairly well and pick up first downs. They're going to have to hold the ball here to keep Gadsden from scoring, apparently.
Williams went right up the middle, untouched, and didn't look like Fort Payne even had any linebackers in there. Once he got by the initial line of scrimmage, he was clear sailing. Fort Payne will send Gray in motion to give it to Gray. Gray is going to be outside and going to broke a tackle, couldn't get a break the tackle. Got to the 25. 26-yard line, they're going to mark him down. Picked up 2 yards on the play. That'll give him about a 3-yard gain, but Fort Payne, all of a sudden, Gadsden is playing well on defense.
They've made some adjustments, apparently, and those little misdirection and halfback runs that we've been picking up some yardage on earlier are not working all of a sudden.
Fort Payne has Gray in there at the wing along with Elliott McElrath, and Randall Beagles is your fullback. 7:33 to go. Fort Payne trails by a touchdown. Going to run Beagles, and Beagles hits the ball late to McElrath at the 25, needs a block, and is going to be close to the first down. It's going to be tackled a yard short. As out there, Fort Payne tried to get a good block out there from Derek Hood.
We're very lucky we didn't get called for a clip on that play, Larry. Derek Hood, it appeared to, at least from here, that he should have, or it looked like he did, hit him in the back.
Third down and a couple to go for Fort Payne. As McElrath picked up 6 on that play. Fort Payne has got to get this first down. 6:50 to go in the third quarter, and Gadsden, Fort Payne can't even slow them down, so Fort Payne's got to get this first down. Damian Underwood is your quarterback. Gadsden's going to bring a linebacker, and they're going to give it to Prater on the reverse, and he got his first down as he squirmed across the 35, and is still trying to get yardage up to the 37. Good run by Darrell Prater to pick up 6 yards in the first down.
Darrell pretty much picked up that yardage on his own. He was surrounded by Gadsden Tigers, drug a couple with him. He does pick up the first down, and this is an important drive for the Wildcats, Larry, as they have fell behind 21-14, coming down on 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Fort Payne at their own 37-yard line, and Damian Underwood will lead them up to the line of scrimmage. They have Daniel Thompson split to the near side of the field. Prater is in there at the wing-back position now. Damian will run up the middle. The Beagles found a hole at the 40. 45, broke a tackle at the 50, got into the 49-yard line. Good run there, 13 yards by Randall Beagles. As Beagles picked up, 14 yards, and another Fort Payne first down. Some little shiftiness there in that little short run.
Those are the exact type runs Beagles was having a lot of success with in the first half. And maybe the Wildcats are picking up the tempo, coming out a little lethargic here to start the second half. Maybe they're picking up the tempo now.
5:55 to go in the third quarter. McElrath is in motion, and he's going to throw his pass complete to Prater. Prater is down to the 35-yard line. That's a little pop pass, they used to call it, but Darrell Prater caught it and got another first down at the 35, picked up 13 yards.
Last week, wasn't that the water bucket pass?
Yeah, I guess. They got the timeout now for the rest period. 5:45 to go in the third quarter. Gadsden leads it 21-14. Back in 1 minute on the right. Roger, 5:45 to go in the third quarter, and a lot of time to be played. And you hate to make a statement like this, but I think this is a critical drive for the Wildcats.
Well, I do too, Larry, but I think they are picking up the tempo. I don't think the Wildcats are nearly out of this game. I think they just started a little lethargic, and I think they're coming back.
36-yard line. Gray is in motion, going to run the inside reverse to McElrath, and McElrath is going to be hit after about a 2-yard gain. Elliott McElrath picked up, give him about 3 yards, I think.
That was a good individual play by number 5 for Gadsden, and I don't have a name for 5, but anyway, he didn't go for the fake. He stood right there and stood up the Wildcat runner for a good individual play, and he picks up 3 yards, 2nd and 7 at the 33.
5:09 to go in the third quarter. Gadsden 21, Fort Payne 14. And the Wildcats are to the line of scrimmage. Damian Underwood is your quarterback, and Damian will give it up the middle to Beagles, and Randall found a little hole, got it across the 30 to the 29. We've got third down and about 3 after this play. Quick opener on the left side. Fort Payne's line did a pretty good job blocking that time.
As we said, it'd be a third down and almost 4, really, Larry. I think if the Wildcats don't make it here, I think they're in 2-down territory, and I expect them to take both downs if they need to.
If they get to the 25, they've got a first down, because the chains are marked about 3/4 of a yard short of the marker. So now what happened? Fort Payne's going to have to send Randall Beagles out for helmet. And
Josh Miller, I believe, maybe?
Yeah, Josh Miller comes in as Josh comes in at the fullback position. And not a good time for Randall Beagles to have to go out, but Josh is a very good quality runner. 4:22 to go. Big third down and 4 for Fort Payne. Damian is your quarterback. Damian will send Miller and gave it to Miller up there. Got his first down. Broke the tackle. And he's on the inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line. Josh Miller. And I told you Josh Miller could run. Josh Miller, and he really busted it in the middle. Got there in a hurry and ran from the 30 down to the 9-yard line. Big run by Josh Miller.
Well, if you'll remember last year, Larry, Josh had to play in after an injury to one of the Wildcat backs, and he had some big games for the Wildcats last year, and really just not carried the ball very much this year, but Josh looks like he's still in good form.
21-yard run by Josh Miller, and it was a biggie. Down to the 9-yard line, Randall Beagles is, no, Josh is still in there. So Josh Miller still in there at the fullback position. Damien is your quarterback. Damien barks his signals, going to give it to Josh again. He busted it inside, got it to the 6. Maybe to the 5-yard line goes Josh Miller. So here comes Randall Beagles back in. But Josh picked up 3 yards on that play. And it'll be second down and goal for Fort Payne from the 6.
Good work by Miller. Here's 2 plays in the game, Larry.
The Wildcat fans giving him a big round of applause over there, so they recognize the good job that Josh did, picking up that long first down for the Wildcats.
3:17 to go in the quarter. Fort Payne trying to tie Gadsden at 21 apiece. They're at the 6-yard line, 3rd down and goal. Damien will send Prater in motion. Damien's going to keep it. Damien's going to throw it for the end zone. Complete touchdown, Randall Beagles.
Good job of Randall Beagles catching that ball. He was falling backwards actually into the end zone. Managed to reach down about knee-high, catch the ball and tumble back into the end zone. So touchdown to Wildcats, and we're a PAT away from having this game tied.
And Damien is 5 of 8 passing, so a great job. And Fort Payne has done what we said they had to do. And they marched it right down the field. St. Cobble will try to tack on the tying point. Snap is good. The kick is away. The kick is certainly long enough. It is good. 3:02 to go in the 3rd quarter. We're tied at 21 apiece. Back in 30 seconds on the Wildcat Sports Network. Big drive for Fort Payne there.
Well, we talked right before the drive began, this was going to be important. They had to answer back the Tiger touchdown, so they went downfield. Josh Miller came in, did a good job, and now we're tied again.
Hank Cobble kicks it to the 5. It's caught there by Kemp. Straight up the middle, 20, 25, 30. Found a hole. And he's going to be down to the 50. He may go all the way. 40, 35, and Joe Gray knocked him out of bounds down around the 29-yard line. Man alive, they've got some speed. We can't see anybody this year is going to have any more speed than they have.
Well, Larry, they had speed too, but we also had him tackled back here. And once again, we missed a tackle. And I don't know how many touchdowns Joe Gray has saved us this year, Ronnie, but he's been a lifesaver.
That's about the 4th, I think, this year, and already 3 games, Roger.
Knows it just inside the 30. We'll call it the 29. So here comes Gadsden with 2:50 to go in the 3rd quarter, trying to take the lead again. Fort Payne's had to work for their touchdowns, and they've come easy for Gadsden. They send twin receivers to the far side of the field. The quarterback is Scott, and he has Harvey in there, and Williams is lined up at tailback. And they're going to run option play on the near side. Scott kept it, got into the 25, into the 20, down to the 19-yard line, 10 yards and a first down for Scott.
Well, that's
better than what they've been having.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's probably the smallest game they've had in the second half on any one play.
It is. They've only had 2 offensive plays, one for 81 yards and a touchdown, one for 56 yards and a touchdown. So it is. That's the shortest game they've had this second half.
And they still pick up the first down.
They're going to measure.
They're going to measure.
I think it's a first down. It's right at it if it's not, with 2:33 to go in the quarter. But Fort Payne's going to have to come up with a defensive stop here somewhere. Walter Scott has run for, he's doing for 37 yards, 47 yards for Kemp. But Robert Williams has had, that's 81 and 56.
Oh, it's a lot.
He's run for that the second half. And it's first down for Gadsden.
137 yards, that's 2 touchdowns right there.
And he had 43 the first half.
I know Coach Sanford is having fits over on the sideline. His defense giving up these big plays.
Yep. But here is Gadsden first down at the Fort Payne 19 with 2:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. Maybe they'll turn it over. They have Harvey and Williams in there. Scott is your quarterback. And Scott is going to give the ball to Harvey, and he didn't get anything. He got hit right in the middle. Maybe they didn't give it. He lost a yard. Back to the 21.
See, getting up, I think, was number 65 who made the initial hit, that, of course, being Zane Hardinger. So that's his first tackle of the night, and it's a big one.
Second down and 11 for Gadsden. And he's got 3 carries for 4 yards. But the rest of these guys have done quite a bit better than that. Second and 11 from the 21. Fort Payne's defense trying to stiffen up here and stop him. Scott is your quarterback, and Harvey and Williams are in there. Look for Williams to get this one. They're going to run the option play. Scott kept him darted inside and got hit around the line of scrimmage. Fort Payne did a good job as Scott ran for a yard, 3rd down and 10.
They had a good block on the outside guy, took him out of the play, but one of the interior linemen came up and made the tackle, and it brings up a big 3rd and 10 now for the Gadsden Tigers.
A minute 23 to go in the 3rd quarter. We're tied at 21 apiece. And Gadsden will send into the ball game Garmany, their quarterback. And let's see if he's going to line up wide to the far side. So they got Garmany lined up as a wide out to the far side. 3rd down and 10 for Scott. Scott looks over that Fort Payne defense, maybe changing the play. Scott will roll the pass, throws it to the far side. He has a man out there complete, and he's going to break a tackle. He can't break another tackle. He broke Joe Gray's tackle, but he couldn't break Cameron Kennedy's tackle. Picked up about 6 yards on the play, but it's going to be 4th down.
So decision time here. Do they have enough confidence in their field goal kicker, or will they go for it? And if they fail, well, they pin the Wildcats deep in their own territory, and they're still in a tie game.
I think Gadsden will go for it.
Go for it. They've got to get to the Fort Payne just inside the 10 for a 1st down. 30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. This is a big play. Big play here. And Gadsden will get it to the line of scrimmage. They got to get to the 10 for the 1st down. They have Kemp in there at tailback now, and Williams is at fullback. I'd look for Williams here. Scott is your quarterback. The crowd across the way is on his feet. Going to give it to Kemp. No, Kemp himself. Scott did, got his 1st down. Foot back, and Fort Payne has it. Josh Miller got it. That's a break.
That is a break. He had his 1st down as he was going down, lost it. Josh pounced on it, and finally the Wildcats has turned away the Gadsden Tigers for the first time here in the 3rd quarter, as there's only 3 seconds left.
That is a big
hit. Had his 1st down, as we mentioned, and somebody knocked the ball loose, and Josh Miller fell on it. The ball squirted back to the 10, and Fort Payne will have it. Big play. And Fort Payne will run one play in the 3rd quarter, then we'll change ends.
These things have been coming in pairs all through the game. Let's hope the Wildcats don't do a return favor.
That's right.
Damien is your quarterback, and I don't know what the problem is here. I guess we've lost.
It looks like number 11 don't want to come off the field, and he has some sort of problem.
He doesn't have a mouthpiece.
That's Bryant Williams, and he's not too happy about having to come off the field, but nevertheless he will.
Can't play without a mouthpiece, and they're going to send him off, and they're going to give him time to get a mouthpiece.
Well, unless he wears dentures, then it wouldn't matter, really, would it?
Send the replacement in with 3 seconds to go. So here is Fort Payne, 1st and 10 from their own 10 after recovering the Squalder Scott fumble. Damien is your quarterback, and Damien will run. Found a hole, did Prater, and tripped up just as he got to the 19. 9-yard gain on the 3rd quarter.
That was Beagles.
Beagles it was. They picked up 9 yards. It'll be 2nd and 1 when we come back for the 4th quarter. Fort Payne seems to be gaining a little bit of momentum back.
It's with the Wildcats now. Let's hope we can continue it here in the 4th quarter.
Fort Payne will have 2nd and a yard. And here comes Fort Payne. They're on the field. And this 4th quarter, Fort Payne could put together a long, sustained drive. Might wear this Gadsden team down. So here is Fort Payne to the line of scrimmage, and 2nd and a yard. They have Daniel Thompson split to the far side of the field. Damien Underwood is your quarterback. And Damien will give it, the roll to pass. He will throw the ball long. He has a Joe Gray. Oh, he couldn't catch it.
Oh, man.
Right through the hands of Joe Gray at the 45.
Like you say, right through his hands. It was put perfect by Damien Underwood, and Joe just couldn't come up with it. I guess you can't, Joe can't make every play, can he?
That ball was right in his hands, and right here in front of us, just went right through his hands. That would have been a big play.
Well, still, they have 3rd and 1, so, a good risk there with only 1 yard to go for a 1st down.
Got to get in here and get this 1st down now. Third down and a yard for Fort Payne. They've got to get him just across the 20 for the first down. Damien is your quarterback. And Damien is going to run. He got his first down. Big run there by Fort Payne's Randall Beagles as he got it up to the 25 and a Fort Payne first down.
So Randall will pick up 5 yards and a Wildcat first down, and they'll have it first and 10 at the 25-yard line.
This is what Coach Elmore told you they wanted to do. Control the offensive line, move the ball, and try to tire this Gadsden team out.
Right. Coach said with all the loss of players and the problems Gadsden has, he thought this might happen here in the fourth quarter, and it looks like he might be a prophet up to this point.
11:34 to go in the game, 21 apiece. David is your quarterback. He sends Prater in motion, and he gets Randall. Randall Beagles got 5, 6, 7 yards off that left side. Good blocking by the Fort Payne team as Beagles picked up 7 yards and a first down.
Number 76 for Gadsden appears to be suffering from dehydration, cramps as he's up on the field. That's Jeremy Pyburn.
They gave him, we'll give him 7. It's getting closer to 8. Second and 2 or 3 for Fort Payne. They have Heath Owen in the game, lined up at the tight end position on the near side. 10:59 to go, and the clock is moving. Fort Payne and Gadsden, 21 apiece. Damien is your quarterback. He sends McElrath in motion, and McElrath has it. He has his first down to 40, across the 45, up to the 48, 49, close to the 50-yard line. That's what about
an 18-yard
gallop, the longest of the night for Elliot McElrath. Another Fort Payne's offensive line really seems to be taking charge.
Just as I was going to say, everyone seemed to click on that particular play. The line of scrimmage was wide open. Once he got into the secondary, he was picking up block after block, and a good job running. The Wildcats have it first and 10 at their own 49-yard line.
Fort Payne will bring in Patrick Payne and send out Heath Owens. Well, it's Thomas Brandon who came in. And this will be Damien to the line of scrimmage. 10:22 to go at their own 48-yard line. Prater is in motion. And Beagles kept it himself. Did Damien that pitch is late at the 50, 45, 40, down to the 39-yard line. Goes, who was that? Daryl Prater.
Daryl Prater for a 13-yard pickup. Another first down for the Wildcats, Larry.
And another play that went just as diagrammed as Damien pitched the ball back right at the last moment, and it's a 13-yard gain, and the Wildcats once again are on the march.
Give Damien Underwood credit for that play as he brought the defender to him, and just as he was being tackled, he pitched it to Daryl Prater, and the sophomore ran for 13 yards and another Fort Payne first down just inside the 40. Damien will send McElrath in motion, and McElrath has it. He cuts inside and picked up a couple of yards on this play. Got it inside the 38 for a 2-yard gain there for Elliot McElrath. Fort Payne has moved from their own 10 after recovering the Gadsden fumble. They'll give him just a yard gain on the play.
Well, that time the Wildcat offense just ran to the strength of Gadsden, and they held them for only about a 1-yard gain.
Fort Payne has 2nd and 9. Damien is your quarterback. And Damien looks over at Gadsden defense. He sends Prater in motion. Gave it up the middle of Beagles on a penalty play. And Beagles got inside the 35, but check this been flagged.
Looked like the Wildcats might have been in motion
that's
again.
That's what it was. I think Randall Beagles may have moved a little early. So it'll be a 5-yard step off against Fort Payne. That hurts.
Is that the first penalty of the second half?
Yeah.
First penalty of the second half after a bushel of them the first half.
Well, really, I mean, the first half was really defined by penalties. That's what gave Gadsden scores and the Wildcat scores, and this is the first penalty, and this could be a drive killer.
Yeah, it's taking an awful long time to decide this. I don't know why. Why are they looking the sideline? Why in the world wouldn't you just take the penalty?
Coach DiLorenzo at times
will make the call, I guess. And
well, at times he looks like he prefers to take it down over yardage really tonight. He's declined the penalty 2 or 3 times. So
they picked up about 7 yards on that play. They'll take the penalty back to the 43. Now Fort Payne is 2nd down and 14. That was really a big penalty. Fort Payne would have had 3rd down and about 2.5, and instead they have 2nd and got to get to the 29 now for a first down. So you're right, that penalty may have killed this drive. But Fort Payne still has a couple of downs to see what they can do with it. Damien, your quarterback. Damien will give it to Beagles if he didn't get anything. Got a yard or 2. Tried to run the quick hitter in the middle, and Randall Beagles picked up a couple of yards in the middle. Third down now. Big play coming up for Fort Payne.
Chad Williams making the tackle for the Gadsden Tigers, and that's he's had quite a few tackles tonight.
Yep. 8:57 to go. Fort Payne surely would like to get something out of this drive, but at least they moved the ball from their own 10 and got in good field position. 8:47 to go. Clock is moving. Fort Payne is going to have to come up with some kind of 14-yard play. Here is Damien to the line of scrimmage. He has Derek Hoods put to the near side. Damien is quarterback. And Damien will roll back the pass and the run pass option. He's going to set the screen to the far side and threw it over the head. They had that play set up. And look, he came back and just slipped down.
Well, right with right out from under him, Larry. I don't know, though. It looked like it might have been overthrown in any event. So the Wildcats, as we said, the penalty killed this drive, and now they'll have to punt the ball away with 8 minutes and 25 seconds to go here in the fourth period.
They don't want to give this ball back to Gadsden with a tie game at 21 apiece. Thomas Brandon will kick it away. And Thomas Brandon, Fort Payne jumped offside. Gadsden jumped, but I don't think they came across the neutral zone.
I think they have. I think the official's going to get him.
I believe it was number 93 of Gadsden who came across.
He came across, and but Coach Lorenzo is trying to figure this one out. Fort Payne player obviously came up out of his stance. And they'll step off a 5-yard penalty down to the 38. You wouldn't gamble on a fake punt here, would you?
No, I don't think so. Not in a game this close, and as tough as this one has been, I don't think I would do that.
Here is Thomas Brandon standing on his own, just kicking around midfield. Got a good snap. Got the kick away, got away a good kick. It's going to be fair call. Bounced over the 5. It's going to bounce dead inside the 10-yard line.
Good kick.
Great kick. Up, knock it down to 8. That's a great kick by Thomas Brandon.
Took a Wildcat bounce down around the 5-yard line. They downed it at the between the 7 and 8-yard line. So the Gadsden Tigers will take over deep in their own territory.
Stop them here. You're going to get great field position, but that's the key. Stop them. And Fort Payne has really not stopped Gadsden this half. They stopped themselves on that fumble. But Fort Payne has not stopped Gadsden at all this second half. But they need to stop them now. The ball's on the 9-yard line.
You got your passing quarterback in there now, Larry.
Yeah.
Number 18's in quarterback for Gadsden.
Yep, he's in there. That is Jim Garmity. So Garmity is in at quarterback. And Kemp is in at tailback. They're going to run the inside reverse, and he's going to be outside. They got a clip there, no call. Down this near sideline, knocked out of bounds.
It's a good thing Joe Gray ran him out of bounds about the 23-yard line. If he gets around Joe, he's probably going the distance.
They ran that on the inside reverse. They got it to Andrew D'Agostine, first carry of the night for D'Agostine, who was lined up at the wing-back position, and he went from the 9 to the 20. So was that an 11-yard gain for D'Agostine?
11 yards and a first down.
8:07 to go in this fourth quarter. We're tied at 21 apiece. Look like
Gadsden don't have a call of timeout. They don't have enough players on the field.
Timeout on the field. 8:04 to go in the game. Fort Payne 21, Gadsden 21. Back in 30 seconds. Well, we had them pinned back, but they're kind of out of the hole now, Raj.
Yeah, that one run got him out of the hole, and we'd have been in the hole if Joe Gray hadn't have made that tackle. Feels like he might have went the distance for the touchdown. Joe has managed to run him out of bounds. So, once again, let's give Joe credit for getting us out of this ditch.
They ran D'Agostine in there, and he ran a little inside reverse and was coming up this near sideline, and Joe Gray knocked him out of bounds right around the 20. 8:01 to go in the ball game. We're tied at 21 apiece. Fort Payne and Gadsden is another one of those battles that they always seem to have. And they still got their flinging quarterback Garmity in there. So let's see what Garmity does. He has twin receivers to the far side of the field. The I backfield with Kemp lined up at tailback. He's going to give the ball up the middle. Williams, and he got hit down this time. As Dreyer was there, they blew the ball dead. Never got him on the ground, but they blew him dead after he picked up a yard.
Actually, it's David Richardson, I think, Larry, and he was actually rushing, and the runner just kind of run into him.
Picked up a yard. Second down and 9. And now the crowd on both sides started to get a little excited. 7:39 to go in the game. And Garmity comes out of the game. Scott is back in there. 7:30 to go. They line up twin receivers on the near side. And Walter Scott, your quarterback. Fort Payne shuffles that defense. They're going to run up the middle, and nothing there. Throw him down behind the line of scrimmage on a busted play. As Scott ran right into Kemp, and then Fort Payne was there to throw him down rather rudely behind the line of scrimmage.
Scott Schrader, I think, the first there. About 4 more Wildcats around him. Really couldn't tell if they were trying to run a delay or it was a mishandle of the ball. Anyway, they lose yardage, and it'll bring up a big 3rd and 14.
Here is a big play. This could be the game here. 6:57 to go in the game. They send their quarterback, throwing quarterback Garmany back in, but they leave Scott in there. And Garmany's lined up at wide out over here. Here's a big play. This could be the play of the game. 6:45 to go. We're tied at 21 apiece. 3rd down and 13. Scott, your quarterback, will run his option play to the far side, pitch it to Kemp, and Kemp is going to have his first down, and he's going to be hit right around the 30-yard line and got his first down up at the 32. Nothing fancy about that, but Fort Payne couldn't tackle him. Kemp picked up 15 yards on the first down.
Not sure they ever tackled him. I think it just ended up going out of bounds.
But as Larry said, a big 15-yard pickup. So they get another set of downs. The Gadsden Tigers, 6:30 left to go in this game. We're still all knotted up 21-all.
We may want to look back on that play later on, but that's a big play. Fort Payne, if they could have stopped him there, would have got the football. But now 6:30 to go, and Gadsden still has it at 33 with a new set of downs. Scott is in there at quarterback, and he has Williams and Kemp. This will be Kemp coming to the near side, cut it back inside, and found a hole. Broke another tackle. He's probably going to go all the way. He's at the 40, 35, 30, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown. Fort Payne missed about 3 tackles along the way. And he went 67 yards for a touchdown. Fort Payne just not doing a very good job at all of tackling.
Well, and that's been pretty prevalent throughout these first 3 games of the year. Fortunately, it hasn't hurt us up until this point, but right now it's not good news with it. 27-21 with just over 6 minutes to go.
So Kemp throws 67 yards for a touchdown. Carlisle will try to tack on the extra point. Gadsden leads it by 6, 27-21. Clock is a factor now. 6 minutes to go. Snap is there. The kick is away. The kick is good. 6:15 to go in the game. Gadsden leads it 28-21. Back in 30 seconds on the Wildcat Sports Network. .42-yard line after the good run back by Darrell Prater.
Well, it's very beneficial to the team when they can narrow the yardage to have to go, almost cut it in half. And the Wildcats, by returning it out to about the 43-yard line, has done that. And we'll just have to see how the Wildcats respond to being behind again.
6:05 to go. Damien has his team to the line of scrimmage. Fort Payne, the last time they had it, were driving in that big penalty. The motion call, stop the drive. And here is Gadsden going to run to the left on pass. No, it's incomplete. He had Randall Beagles by himself at the 50-yard line and just overthrew him. Randall would have gone down that sideline for another 10 yards at least.
Well, Damien was rolling left and through left, and that's kind of hard to do when you're a right-handed quarterback to throw it the way you're rolling. And Damien just overthrew Randall Beagles. As you said, he was open and would have had a first down. So that'd be 2nd down and 10.
Damien 5 of 11, but that was one he'd really like to have back. He had Randall Beagles all by himself, and Randall would have got it at least down to the Gadsden 40. 2nd down now for Damien. He sends Prater in motion, going to give it to Beagle, kept it himself on the option. He's going to be in trouble. Pitch it to Beagle. He broke a tackle, then Prater broke another tackle and picked up a yard on the play. But he was hit 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, that was a busted play, Larry. You see, he was tempted to handle it to Randall Beagles. Randall went right by him and got in a blocking stance, and it was a busted play, so no wonder we don't pick up much on that play.
They call timeout for the Heat. Fort Payne's got a 3rd and 9 when we come back. Big play when we come back. We have a minute timeout here. We'll be back in 1 minute on the Wildcat Sports Network with the score Gadsden 28. Fort Payne about to run their 20th play of this second half. They've scored 7 points. Gadsden's run 10 plays and scored 21 points. Damien back to pass. He throws, intercepted up around midfield. Went right into the hands of that defensive back, and Fort Payne's in big trouble.
Not a very good job by Damien looking. He was really looking at his receiver the whole way. You could kind of read where he was about to go. So the guy picked it off, and looks like the Wildcats could be in trouble now.
Yep, Gadsden has it right in midfield, as that was a big turnover. So not a good series for Fort Payne there, and now Gadsden can just about chew this clock out. 5:43 to go, and Fort Payne's going to have a big break to win this one. Gadsden will run it to the line of scrimmage with Scott in there at quarterback. They have Harvey out there. They have Williams and Kemp lined up in the backfield behind him. This will be Williams, and he is going to have 4 yards, maybe 5 yards, down to the Wildcat 46. Clock is a factor now. 5:35 to go. Williams picked up 5.
David Richardson once again coming in from his linebacker spot to make the tackle. And as you say, they pick up 4 yards, and it'll be second down and 6.
5:23 to go, and Fort Payne's first turnover of the night was a killer. Fort Payne had it around midfield, and I don't think they're going to, well, we'll just have to wait and see. They've got to stop Gadsden here. They haven't stopped Gadsden in the second half yet. This will be Scott. Scott will run his option play to the near side, and Scott will pitch the ball late, and the ball is popped up. Fort Payne got it. Well, no, they didn't. They let it get away. Fort Payne's Joe Gray had the ball in his hands, and he dropped the ball, and Williams fell on it down around the 40.
Well, he had it out of midair right in his hands, and he dropped it again, and then they were...
Williams just picked the ball up, but Joe Gray had the ball in his hands and just dropped it. And he picked up 4 yards on the play, did Williams, and it'll be... Well, it's a 3rd and 1 now. But that made him in the break Fort Payne was looking for. You can't expect him to fumble it again, can you?
Well, you can expect anything in this.
Well, that's true. 4:25 to go. They need a yard for the first down. Scott is your quarterback. He has Williams and Kemp lined up behind him. I guess you can just choose your poison on this one. Fort Payne jumped offside. Well, don't have to worry about it now. Fort Payne jumped in the neutral zone.
Brandon Waller, number 76, went across and butted helmets with one of the offensive linemen for Gadsden, so they'll pick up first down on another penalty.
And it'll be a 5-yard step off down to the 36. And this one, unless Fort Payne can get some kind of big break here, this one is about over. Gadsden leads at 28-21, and Fort Payne's defense has really shown that no indication that they're going to be able to stop Gadsden. I think that's the only thing you could expect would be for Gadsden to stop themselves on some kind of turnover. But then we're under 4 minutes already. Scott to the line of scrimmage, the I formation. Scott fumbled the football, but I think they got it back at the 40.
Well, opportunity number 2.
Yeah.
How many times you going to... Oh, my
ball was Scott just turned around and dropped it 5 yards behind him and then went back after it. Fort Payne had a chance to get it, but they missed it again. 3:37, clock still running.
That might have been a good idea for the guy who was first to the ball, the Wildcat at least, just to hit the Gadsden player, knock him away from the ball, and just hope another Wildcat came and pick it up. But he kind of hit the ball and knocked it right back to Gadsden. So once again, another chance is blown.
Look at that clock, 3:22, 2nd and 15 now for Gadsden. But the clock is really a factor now. Scott is your quarterback, and Scott's going to take a lot of time back there. Now he'll go into a signal and run his option play to the near side, and Scott is going to be knocked out of bounds, which after a 5-yard gain, that helps. That stops the clock. He's down to the 35, but he was knocked out of bounds.
They were also in motion on the play, and we didn't see a flag either.
3:03 to go. So here's a 3rd down play, 3rd and 10. I guess if you're Gadsden, if you don't, well, no sense in saying if they don't make it, because they made a couple of 3rd down plays when they looked like they didn't have a chance. Here's 3rd and 10. Then you got a lot of weapons to call on if you're Coach Vince DeLorenzo. And he has Scott and Kemp. Scott has Kemp and Williams lined up in the backfield behind him. Big 3rd down and 10 play. Fort Payne's got to stop him here if they're going to have any chance. They run their inside reverse to Gadsden. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage. A great play there by Fort Payne's Gamble, and he got hurt on the play. I don't think there's anything serious. Looked like he bruised his hip, but Fort Payne with a 5-yard, Fort Payne calls timeout. It'll be 4th and 15 for Gadsden when we come back. With 2:52 to go, Fort Payne trails 28-21, back in 30 seconds. Field, Joe Gray stands on his 10. 2:52 to go in the game. Fort Payne trails by a touchdown. And waiting on the snap. Snap is a little high, but Garmin, he got his kick away, and not a good kick at all. And Thomas Brandon makes a fair catch at the 28-yard line. It's a break for Fort Payne.
Good, a lot better field position than they had to be hoping for. So the Wildcats now is about 71 yards away from tying the game. So it's still 2 minutes and 47 seconds remaining, and the offense comes back on the field.
That was really smart play by Thomas Brandon. He was a short man on that far side. It's a line drive kick, and he got his hand up in a hurry and made the fair catch, and Fort Payne will have it at the 29. 2:47 to go. Fort Payne with 2 timeouts left. David Underwood, the senior quarterback, in there to direct this last drive for Fort Payne. Gave it to Beagles, and Beagles found a hole to the 35. Randall Beagles picked up 6 yards. And Fort Payne with a good start, but the clock is a factor now. Gadsden in no hurry to get up out of that pile, and who could blame him? 2:32 to go. Clock is moving. Fort Payne will send in Thomas Brandon. 2:27. Fort Payne trails by 1 touchdown, 28-21. Brandon to the far side, Daniel Thompson to the near side. Damian Underwood will send Prater in motion, and he ran his option, kept the ball himself, got to 35, pitched it to the 40, and Prater goes out of bounds at the 41.
And looks like they'll pick up his first down.
He got 6 yards to the first down and stopped the clock. Fort Payne is at the 41, and no sign of panic yet. Fort Payne really normally does a good job running this 2-minute offense. They mark it squarely on the 40. Derek Hood is in for Fort Payne, and Thomas Brandon in. Now Thomas Brandon goes out. 2:09 to go in the game. Fort Payne with a couple of timeouts to go. They're 60 yards away from tying it.
Too early to start thinking about going for 2 or kicking the PAT?
I think they'd kick it. I think Fort Payne thinks they've got a better kicker in Cobble. They send McElrath in motion. Going to throw the ball over the middle, and almost intercepted. Threw it right into the hands of Walter Scott. Tried to hit Prater and threw it right into the hands of Walter Scott, and he thinks he should have caught that.
He should have.
Yep. He had Prater running down the middle and overthrew it badly right into the hands of Walter Scott. There's a bullet that Fort Payne's dodged. 2nd and 10. They've got to get to midfield for a first down. The first downs are not really what Fort Payne's thinking about right now. They send Prater wide to this near side. Damien will roll the pass. Damien will throw it, and he's going to be dropped it. Darryl Prater was wide open and dropped it at the 48-yard line of Gadsden.
Had his first down plus. He was about to turn around and run for more yardage. Bounced off his shoulder pads, incomplete. Now it brings up a big 3rd and 10.
Fort Payne's made enough mistakes tonight to lose 2 ball games. And Darryl Prater just dropped that one. He had his first down and just flat out dropped it. Hit it right in the chest.
Maybe it was a little too much time to go exclusively to the pass already, So we're picking up the yardage running.
Here's 3rd and 10. Fort Payne's got to get the midfield. They'll go for it on 4th down. They're going to run Beagles. And Randall found the hole at 50. Down to the 41-yard line goes Randall Beagles.
20-yard pickup, big first down for the Cats.
And great blocking on that offensive line of Fort Payne.
Absolutely. Once Randall broke into the secondary, he was on the run. They finally brought him down to just outside the 40-yard line. Still almost 2 minutes to go in the game.
So 1:50 and the clock is moving. Fort Payne has 2 timeouts left. And this will be Damien to the line of scrimmage. Plenty of time with those 2 timeouts. Damien is your quarterback. He'll send McElrath in motion and run Prater on the reverse. Prater at the 40, 35, down to the 37. 33-yard line goes Darryl Prater, and the clock is continuing to run. He picked up 8 yards on that play.
He's almost 3 yards short of the first down. He's made the clock running, and the Wildcats will have to hurry up and get back to the line of scrimmage.
1:20, 1:19. The clock is moving. Fort Payne 2nd and 3 from the 33-yard line of Gadsden. And Damien has his team to the line of scrimmage. 1:11 to go in the game. Damien will roll the pass. Damien throws it long. He's going to be incomplete. And threw that ball into the ground. Derek Hood down there was triple covered. 1:05 to go.
Damien was getting pressure from number 79. I don't have his name either. But the Gadsden Tigers putting pressure on Damien. And he dumps the ball. So it's now 3rd down and still about 3, almost 4 yards to go.
Fort Payne has 2 timeouts left. They've got 2 downs to get 3 yards. Clock is really a factor now. Damien to the line of scrimmage. He sends Prater in motion, and he runs around to keep it himself and darted inside. Got his first down at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Damien Underwood. Damien goes 31 yards for a touchdown with 56 seconds to go.
Boy, that first cut of Damien just at the line of scrimmage was a dime.
He left number 3 in his tracks, Raj.
Boy, that was a cut.
Damian Underwood goes 31 yards. Is that what it was?
31 yards with 57 seconds left to go in this ball game, and the Fort Payne Wildcats are within 1 of tying it up.
How far was that drive?
We started on our own 29.
71-yard drive. And how many plays? Copples, extra point. Needs to hit this one. Snap is there. The kick is blocked. They're going to throw it into the end zone. And he's going to go touchdown. No, you can see it in. Two-point conversion. That was a fake. They took it and got it in for a touchdown. He threw it to the tight end. He saw it, and they just faked it. I thought it was a block, but he faked it. They threw it to Heath Owens, and he scored. My goodness.
We thought it had been blocked or something. All of a sudden, Daniel Thompson raises up, throws it to Heath Owens on the left sideline. He runs 5 yards. And
wow. They do work on that every day in practice. They really do.
It was a fake. I thought it had been blocked, but all of a sudden he was raised up. Daniel did, and as Roger said, threw it to Heath Owens on the 5, and he got it in for the 2-point conversion. Fort Payne by a point.
A great fake by Daniel Thompson. We thought he'd already been blocked, and Daniel was still there, cool as a cucumber. Finally raises up, hits Heath. Everybody thought the play was already over. Wildcats go ahead. Anything could happen in this game, Larry.
Right, it normally does.
Not but 56 seconds, but you got the speed of this Gadsden Tiger team.
56 seconds to go. Plenty of time for this Gadsden team. And squib the ball, Hank. Don't kick it to him long. And he did squib it. Thank you. It's down around the 25. It's bouncing to the 20. All the way back to the 15. They have to fall on it. 54 seconds to go.
Good play.
No better scenario could have happened than that right there. As he squibbed it down, it went by the first line of people trying to catch the kickoff, and he has to fall on it on the 15, so they've got 85 yards to go to tie this game.
To win the game.
Yeah, to win the game.
But they can do it. Man alive. 54 seconds to go, and how about that 2-point conversion? 29-28, Fort Payne leads it. And we thought the PAT had been blocked, and Fort Payne had faked it in. Great. You'll have to see that on the film. 54 seconds to go. Plenty of time for this Gadsden team. They're onto the Wildcat
fans yelling defense.
Scott is your quarterback. And Scott is going to give it to the tailback, Kemp. And Kemp is going to have 2 or 3 yards. He's still not down. He's down for
65 held on to him.
Yeah, well, Scott Schrader, actually number 99, really turned the play in. So Schrader, a big part of that play, along with, and you said number 65.
Right. Gadsden burns a timeout. They have 2 left, I think.
That was Zane Hardinger coming in after Schrader had slowed him down. So the Wildcat defense rising to the occasion.
Let's just keep it right here and talk about that play. And I apologize along the way for telling you that kick was blocked. But Fort Payne really did a beautiful job of faking it.
It looked like it was blocked. That was a great
play. Cobble went through with the kick, but the ball wasn't there. Daniel Thompson had pulled it away and rolled to his left. They had Heath Owens all by himself at the 5-yard line, and the freshman sophomore caught it and went into the end zone.
Yeah, great job by Daniel. He was cool under fire on that one. I mean, he faked everybody out.
Well, they took everybody off guard. We said, well, you're going to line up and kick the extra point and make it a 28-28 game and try to hold them and go in overtime. But what do we know?
That's guts, isn't it? That's guts on a win or lose play.
We really, sometimes along the way, we criticize the play calling of Fort Payne, but you certainly can't criticize that, as Coach Elmore didn't want to go into overtime with this team, much speed as they've got, and took his chances right there, and looks like it might pay off. 29-28 Fort Payne, with 41 seconds to go in the game. Second down for Scott. Scott is on the 15-yard line. Scott will roll back the pass, and he'll be pressured out of the pocket. Being pressured, he's going to be thrown down at the 5-yard line. Thrown down inbounds at the 5-yard line. The clock is at 29-28. That was
Schrader once again
there. But they threw him all the way back to the 5, and they got it down to 20 seconds. And Gadsden finally calls timeout with 20 seconds to go. They flushed him all the way back to the 5-yard line. That was Garmany in there. at quarterback, and Garmity was thrown for a 10-yard loss. So let's pause for 30 seconds on the Wildcat Sports Network. Cut back for this last 20 seconds. Fort Payne leads at 29-28. Back in 30 seconds.
Attention stations, 30-second break, 10-second legal ID. Take your 10-second legal ID. We're at the top of the hour.
20 from their own 5-yard line. I don't think they have any timeouts left. 20 seconds to go. The quarterback under is Garmity. Garmity has those two speedsters lined up behind him. He'll roll back to pass. Garmity from the end zone throws. He has a man down here, and it's going to be intercepted, dropped by Joe Gray. I thought he was throwing the ball to Scott, who had come down this near side, and Scott had gotten a step on the Fort Payne defender, but it'll be 4th down for Gadsden as Joe Gray makes the diving interception attempt. And here is Fort Payne with a fourth down Gadsden has, and that was a big play.
It was. I think Josh Miller had the receiver covered either way, Larry, but he threw short, almost picked off by Joe Gray. It brings up a 4th and 20, so you can really say this is the game on this play.
Joe Gray's playing. Joe Gray is all the way back at the 40-yard line.
He better not come up either.
Here is 4th down for Garmity. This is the ball game. 4th and 20 with 14 seconds to go. Garmity will roll back to his end zone. Garmity will throw it as far as he can down this near side, and the ball is going to be complete. Can you believe that up at the 42? He beat Josh Miller up here at the 42, with only 6 seconds remaining.
Josh really didn't realize where the ball was at. He was kind of lost and twisted around and confused. And they do pick up a big first down, but only 6 seconds remaining.
And the clock will move. This clock should be moving, and it didn't even move. The clock there got the second off as they threw the ball into the ground to stop the clock. And Gadsden will have one play. They've got to go 59 yards for a touchdown.
Well, what do? You line up 3 receivers to one side, heat it into the end zone. That's the only thing you can do. Hope it bounces Tigers' way if you're a Tiger fan.
Fort Payne and Gadsden always play games this way. You mentioned a little earlier, sometimes the scores are low-scoring, sometimes they're high-scoring. But they haven't had a bad game since these two teams have been playing, since Coach Elmore's been here. Here's 4th down. This is the last play, probably. They have Scott in there as a wide receiver. Garmity is your quarterback. And Garmity will throw it as far as he can. He rolls back to pass, and Garmity will cut it loose down that far side, and it's going to be incomplete. No, that's it. Fort Payne wins it.
There's a flag on the play.
The flag, he waves it off.
It's off, yeah.
It's on Gadsden, so they're going to wave it off. Ineligible receiver downfield against Gadsden. Fort Payne wins it by a score of 29-28. Can you believe that?
Great game.
I can't still believe that fake field goal try for a 2-point conversion. I really cannot.
Fort Payne somehow, some way, pulls this thing out. And Garmity threw that thing as far as he could throw it, and it bounced off a couple of receivers' hands, and Fort Payne wins it by a unbelievable 29-28 score. And if you missed this one, folks, you missed a great one. And Fort Payne is going to play some more games like this. The Wildcats go 3-0 for the first time since 1988. And they have Etowah next week. But Fort Payne wins it by a score of 29-28. We'll be back in 2 minutes on the Wildcat Sports Network.
Man.
Now, y'all going to say I'm lying? Never did I feel like we were going to lose the game. I just never had that feeling.
He's to the 15, up this near side to